And what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, Curry Tech, and today we'll be talking about what is VRAM and how much VRAM do you actually need for your GPU and at what resolutions. Now let's hop into this video. Anyway, thank you guys for the support on all these videos past few days. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's dive straight into it. Now, VRAM, what is VRAM? Typical of VRAM is video card or video randomized RAM. So RAM, not like system RAM, is on the PCB of the video card. Now, I think of a video card as almost its own little PC if you think about it. It has its own PCB, own power, own GPU or die CPU you could say, and its own type of memory. Now VRAM is different than system memory in the terms of it stores image data rather than system data. Now VRAM acts as a sort of buffer between the video card and the actual CPU, allowing the CPU to process data from the RAM, then lets that input through to the VRAM, and that image data is displayed to the monitor. Now, not getting too in-depth to VRAM, here is a basic RAM stick with memory or memory modules, as you see right here. These memory modules are the ones that you'll see on a graphics card typically. Not these ones per se, but maybe they're a little bit bigger and higher bandwidth in terms because of what resolution is going to play at. Now, VRAM plays a certain system memory, plays a certain role in video games at resolutions. Now let's say you're running 1080p games at 144 frames per second. 4 gigabytes of onboard VRAM is enough for 1080p resolution because 1080p is not a lot of pixels. It's very modern. It's very mainstream at the moment. 1080p is the mainstream. 4 gigabytes of onboard VRAM is enough not only at the pixel resolution but also for textualization such as textures, RTX ray tracing, and well, there's no 4 gigabyte cards of RTX ray tracing yet, but that'll be in the future. But it will have enough for texture packs and all these things that are going on in the background as well as processing image data. Now going on to like 1440p and 4K, this is the area where we generally see 6 gigabyte cards and 8 gigabyte cards. Now for that reason is 1440p and 4K offer a lot more pixels, and I'll put it up to my finger right here, all the resolutions and the pixel densities. Now having this many more pixels compared to 1080p does put a little bit more strain on the GPU, as now it's trying to send that image data, which is a lot bigger now because of all these pixels, onto your display. Now this can also change at 1440p and 4K depending if you're running two monitors. Now that's not only 1440p pixel resolution or 4K pixel resolution, but that is also running on a second monitor, so times 2 with whatever resolution you're on, putting a much more strain on VRAM for system VRAM, or not system VRAM, video card VRAM, because VRAM stores image data and renders that, so you see whatever you see your eye sees on the screen. At 4K and 1440p, VRAM starts getting constrained because of these large image files and data it has to process and store before it shows that onto your screen. That is why you see NVIDIA coming out with the RTX 3090, which has 24 gigabytes of onboard VRAM. However, they market this card as 8K gaming. Now, 8K gaming is not mainstream, 4K is not mainstream either yet. 8K gaming is the equivalent of 33 million pixels on a single screen. So that's right, folks, you didn't hear 33,000, 3300, it's 33 million pixels of on your screen. At what resolution? 8K, that's 8K, right? 33 million pixels running at 60 hertz. 144 hertz, that has not even reached yet because there is no graphics card probably possible to be able to reach that. Maybe unless you have a server, but that's not for gaming at the moment. But having that many pixels in a single frame, this is a single frame. Now imagine running that frame 60 times per second. you need a lot of onboard VRAM in order to accompany this large density of pixels of file of image data. Image data is being processed in zeros and ones. That's how computers talk. Binary, that's how it works. Zeros and ones sent to the VRAM in order to display that image in zeros and ones through your HDMI cable or display cable. Now, 24 gigs of VRAM seems a lot because there's not even a lot of cards that has 24 gigs of onboard VRAM at 19 gigabits per second, by the way. So the data transfers of this VRAM is insane, 19 gigabytes per second, but you also have to understand it is transferring large amounts of data. So that is why you need that high bandwidth and high memory speed in order to make no latency changes for the game or what you're doing or whatever you're doing. Having this kind of memory is great, but also comes at a cost because of the amount of wafers and how many yields they can get for these memory chips. That's why the RTX 3090 is $1,500, and because of scalpers, which I still hate to this very day, sell it for like $2,000, $2,400 because that's how it is at the moment. But VRAM plays a very important factor in your overall video card performance, but it doesn't mean just because you have more means that it's going to perform better. It's going to make a little bit of a change, but not a lot to gaming performance. If we're talking about things that are going on in the background and maybe having better 4K gameplay and maybe 8K resolution gameplay and compatibility, then yeah, that's why they put it on there. But for actual gaming FPS with ray tracing, textures, everything, VRAM plays just like a fraction of that percentage of what it actually does. IPC, now you hear IPC getting thrown around a lot, right? Instructions per cycle, that is what it stands for. You hear that on CPUs, you hear that on GPUs, IPC improvements. The more efficient something is at running the instructions, so instructions of code, instruction lines of whatever task is doing, however many times it can run it as fast as it can, the better and more overall performance gains you'll see, to put it simply like that. So that's why when you hear someone say the IPC increases because they did this and this to the pathways, it means that instead of going to point A to point B, or going from point A to get to point A to point B, they go from point A to point C to point D, then to point B. It goes like point A to point B. It does it in a straight line rather than going all around, then getting to that point. It's making it more efficient, a smoother pathway in order for the instructions to become faster and for your IPC to increase, meaning better performance in general. Now going back to VRAM, 16 gigabytes of VRAM are on the new AMD cards as well, and 24 gigabytes of VRAM are on the RTX cards. Now, as we go on in generation of graphics cards, I'm going to determine, as we all predict, that there's going to be a lot more mainstream cards and mid-range cards coming out with 8 gigabytes, of VRAM, 10 gigabytes, even 12 gigabytes as mid-range cards. So it's not going to be just up there for the higher range. It's going to start trickling down as we get more and more efficient at creating these cards. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment down below any ideas you have. Anyway, peace out guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video.